When did protecting your franchise quarterback become a luxury instead of a necessity? The Atlanta Falcons are staring down a nightmare scenario that no team wants to face. Their entire right tackle depth chart just got decimated in a single. And suddenly we're talking about throwing a converted guard into the fire to protect Michael Penix Jr.'s blind side. Let me paint you the picture of just how catastrophic this situation has become. Caleb McGarry, our starting right tackle, goes down with an injury. Storm Norton, our backup who was supposed to step in seamlessly, gets hurt on the exact same day. What are the odds? It's like the football gods looked down at Atlanta and said, you know what these Falcons really need right now? Crisis that could derail their entire season before it even gets started. Now Wanya Morris is standing at podiums telling reporters that Elijah Wilkinson, a career guard who's spent most of his time working inside, is going to slide out to tackle and somehow become our savior. Don't get me wrong, Wilkinson is a solid veteran who's earned his stripes in this league. But asking a guy who's built his career on interior line play to suddenly become your franchise quarterback's bodyguard on the edge, that's not just rolling the dice. That's playing Russian roulette with your season. This is exactly why ESPN's Bill Barnwell has proposed what might be the most logical trade scenario I've heard all offseason. Picture this. The Falcons send cornerback Clark Phillips III to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for offensive tackle Wanya Morris and a 2027 seventh-round pick. On paper, it's the kind of move that makes you wonder why it hasn't happened already. Let's talk about Wanya Morris for a minute. This isn't some scrub we're discussing here. We're talking about a former starter for the back-to-back. Super Bowl champions who got pushed down the depth chart not because he can't play, but because Kansas City went on a shopping spree for offensive line talent this offseason. Morris has the size, the athleticism, and most importantly, the experience of protecting quarterbacks at the highest level. He's exactly what we need right now, a proven commodity who can step in immediately and give us competent play at a position. We're competence. This might be the difference between playoffs and picking in the top 10. Here's what makes this trade even more appealing. It's bringing a Georgia native home. Maurice played his college ball right here in the state, and there's something poetic about a hometown kid coming back to help save the franchise. Sometimes those emotional connections translate into something special on the field. Players tend to have a little extra motivation when they're playing for the team they grew up rooting for. From Kansas City's perspective, this trade makes perfect sense too. They've got Maurice buried on their depth chart behind newer acquisitions, and they're always looking for defensive back depth. Clark Phillips III might be a backup for us, but he's got starting experience and the kind of versatility that Andy Reid loves to work with. The Chiefs have made a living out of taking other teams' spare parts and turning them into valuable contributors. But here's where this gets complicated, and it's something we need to address head-on. Trading Phillips isn't without risk. Our cornerback room isn't exactly overflowing with depth either. Billy Bowman Jr. is locked into that nickel spot, and behind him, we're looking at D. Alford, who frankly has shown us nothing in 2024 or this preseason to suggest he should see meaningful playing time in regular season games. Phillips might be a backup, but he's a backup who can actually play. He's versatile, enough to work outside or in the slot, and in a league where injuries happen every single week. Having that kind of flexibility is invaluable. If Bowman goes down, or if we need to rotate guys to keep them fresh, Phillips becomes crucial to our defensive game plan. This is the classic dilemma that front offices face every single day. Do you address the crisis that's happening right now? Or do you preserve depth for the crisis that might happen later? It's the difference between being reactive and proactive, and both approaches have burned teams throughout NFL history. Right now, though, the Falcons are in crisis mode. We're talking about potentially starting a converted guard at right tackle, which is essentially hanging a welcome to the backfield sign for every pass rusher in the NFC South. Myles Garrett, Brian Burns, Travon Walker, these guys are going to be licking their chops, thinking about what they can do against a makeshift offensive line. The reality is that protecting your quarterback has to be the top priority. Everything else in your offensive system breaks down if your quarterback is getting pressured on every snap. Bijan Robinson can't find running lanes if the defense knows they can collapse the pocket with a four-man rush. Drake London can't get open downfield if Penix is scrambling for his life every play. Morris might not be an all-pro, but he's a significant upgrade over what we're currently looking at. He's played meaningful snaps for championship-caliber teams, and he understands what it takes to execute at the highest level. Sometimes that experience and that proven track record is worth more than raw talent or potential. The seventh-round pick Kansas City is throwing in sweetens the deal even more. It's not much, but it's something, and it shows they're willing to Make this trade happen. That kind of goodwill can be important for future dealings between franchises. This trade proposal represents exactly the kind of bold move that separates good front offices from great ones. It's addressing a critical need with a proven solution while giving up a player who, while valuable, isn't essential to our immediate success. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions to put your team in the best position to win games. The Falcons are at a crossroads here. They can either roll the dice with what they have and hope for the best, or they can make a move that gives them a legitimate chance to protect their investment at quarterback and compete for a playoff spot. What do you think, Falcons Nation? Is this the kind of aggressive move our front office needs to make? Or are we better off keeping our depth and hoping Wilkinson can handle the transition to tackle? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button if you think it's time for Atlanta to stop playing it safe and start making the moves that championship contenders make.